Hi guys! Today we're going to be reading the most interesting coffee stories that I found online. And honestly, most of them were unexpected. So, grab your coffee and let's go. So let's go ahead and start with our first story. Wait, our first story comes from r/ask Reddit, and it's baristas of Reddit. What is the most ridiculously complicated coffee order you've ever taken, and do they annoy you? I had a regular who would get extra super dry cappuccino, to the same day. A standard cappuccino is usually half foam, half milk, like a more and in quotation it says, like a more frothy latte. You introduce more air into the milk while steaming, which is, yes, that's what you do with a cappuccino. Cappuccino is a little bit more foamy than a latte. Latte is just you pour in the steamed milk if it's a hot latte, and then regular milk if it's an iced latte. But when it's a cappuccino, you foam it a lot and then you pour it, and you want like mostly it's like half foam, half milk, like I said. So for two of her medium drinks, it says for two of her medium drinks, I would have to steam maybe 5 or 6 pitchers of milk just to get enough foam to fill both cups. So she would be ordering 2 of those drinks at the same time, and for 2 of those cups, this person would have to steam 5 to 6 pitchers of milk just to get enough. That's insane. Just to get enough, because she wanted a dry cappuccino, so just a foam with barely any milk. So where were we? It literally felt like air in a cup. She also would get sweeteners and extra cinnamon powder. Not a very pleasant person, in addition to her, not a very pleasant order. To her, not very pleasant order. The other order I can think of was a gentleman of a better temperament, but his order was a large, non-fat, 3 Splenda, extra hot, no foam latte. Almost burned myself with that extra hot milk every time. LOL. And honestly, I only would get annoyed at picky customers that don't know what they're talking about. Maybe and making a fuss for no foam cappuccino, aka a latte. This is so funny. I mean, when they mentioned the gentleman with the large non-fat 3 Splenda extra hot no foam latte, I honestly used to work at this coffee shop, and I used to have this customer. They would come in like either every single day or every other day, and she would get a large non-fat with like 3 Splendas and like cinnamon powder, and then she would always make sure to ask for salt. And yes, coffee shops have sometimes like restaurant side of things, and they have salt. They carry salt for things, but we, like, the front of house never has salt, so she'd always ask for it, and we would always be like, I'm so sorry, like, we can't give it to you. Or we'd have to go and ask the back, and it all depends on like the work environment and stuff and how people react to things, but that was not the best work environment to be asking for extra things. But yeah, it was a story comes from art/glitch in the matrix. So let's get into it. A cup of coffee fell off the table, and when no one was looking, the coffee returned to the table. This title is already crazy enough, so let's give it a chance. I know the title is confusing, so let me explain. Says the person writing the story. A few weeks ago, I was in my garden with my family and my girlfriend. We're all eating, and my father was also drinking a coffee. After a while, both my father and my brother left to work on something, and only me, my mother, and my girlfriend remained at the table. It was pretty windy outside, so at one point the coffee cup fell off the table. We all saw that it fell to the ground, but we were too lazy to actually pick it in that exact moment. So we stayed to 20 to 30 more minutes, and then we decided to go inside because we had to speak something with my grandma. Now that's where the weird thing happened. When we left, we had to take the plates and the remaining food at the table so the wind won't blow them away as well. But we somehow all forgot about the coffee cup that was already on the ground. After speaking with my grandma, we went back to the table, and in that exact same moment, my father and brother were also coming back to the table. After that, my brother said that the wind pushed the cup of coffee and stained a wallet that was on the table. And when we looked, the cup was on the table. With the coffee being spilled all over the table, we asked if they picked up the coffee, but they said no. We also saw them arrive at the same time as us. Okay, cleaned up the table before we left, so we would have seen if a quarter of the table was spilled with coffee. Okay, that makes sense. And what was even weirder, it was too much coffee spilled out on the table. Even if the coffee cup somehow landed upright, it did not, because both me, my mother, and my girlfriend saw it on the ground. It still wouldn't make sense how much coffee ended up back up there. This is crazy. So if you cleaned up, is the first commentary. So if you cleaned up the table before you left, where did the wallet come from? We just cleaned the light things that could be, and this is OP answering, could be easily blown away by the wind. Crazy one. Let me know what you guys would do in that scenario, actually. I wouldn't know. I would just feel like that would make me think about that scenario and try to explaining it in my own way, but it would be very hard to explain that's for sure. It'd be very hard to have an explanation for that. So let me know what you guys would do or what you guys think about that story. And our last and final story comes from art/barista, and it says, what's your most memorable customer interaction, wholesome or horrible? For me, it was when an old man came in to have a coffee shortly before closing time. Usually I would get mad at people coming in before close, but he was just so polite, it was impossible to get mad at him. He could tell I was getting stressed because it was quite busy, so when it got quiet, he told me to come in to have a seat with him. He told me I needed to sit down and relax, and even offered me a little piece of his cake. Oh my god, that's so sweet. He then started sharing stories about his wife, who had passed away recently, how they used to go for coffee, love going for coffee together. Even told me stories about his mother, who had passed almost 30 years ago. Oh my god. This is absolutely wholesome, because I've had, working in coffee shops before, I've had customers, specifically older customers, they love to share a lot of stories, I think. And it's just, I find it very wholesome. I'm never gonna be upset or mad at someone telling me a life story of theirs. And he even told me his mother passing away 30 years ago, he was just so polite and welcoming. When closing time, he was just so polite and welcoming. When closing time came, he shook my hand and told me I was a great lad and wished me all the best, hoping to see me again soon. I'm a 20-year-old grown man. I sobbed like a baby when I got home. I'll never forget that interaction, and I really hope he's okay. This was the best ending to this, because this is the most wholesome story I've ever heard. This is the cutest story ever. After the first two, this made me smile so much, and it's just such a pleasant, cute little interaction. Let me know if your cafe ever remembers your order, or if there's a cafe that ever remembers your order. And if you guys enjoyed this one, let me know down below, because I found 100 of these stories. So this could definitely turn into a little series. If you've ever had a story, tell me down below, and maybe I'll read it in the next video. Bye guys, see you next time.